Hello, my name is Bert Oser, the promoter of the Baltimore, Washington International Pen Show here in the Marriott BWI right here at the airport.
Hi, it's Jonathon Weinberg, and this is Drawing with Fountain Pens. I just got back from the Baltimore, Washington Pen Show. I was just there really on Friday, which, as I always like to say, if you're going to make a pen show, one of these large pen shows in a city, Friday is usually your best bet because that's when the vendors set up and there aren't as many people, and you can have time to talk to each person on there about whatever they're doing. People aren't so crazy and looking over their shoulder and trying to see who's the next person. And you also don't feel guilty because you're taking up too much of their time because they could be selling to somebody else. Saturday is usually the most crowded. So since I had just been at the Philadelphia show and I'm getting much more used to these shows, I concentrated just being there on Friday, and I brought back some nice pens this time. These are two vintage Conklin pens that I got in a special edition of a Jonathon Brooks pen. So that was really nice, and I saw lots of people there who are now become good friends, and it was just really a nice time. I feel like the Baltimore show is it's large, but it's not as huge as the Washington International Show, which is the biggest show supposedly in the world. It's a good size. It's a bit bigger than the Philadelphia show. It has most of the vendors that you want to see. Probably not all of the specialty vendors and handmade vendors that you do get in Washington, but also you don't get quite the crazy scene.
Great group of people here this weekend, and we're having a lot of fun. A lot of new vendors, a lot of old vendors. New pens, old pens. There's always the Washington Pen Show, and there's always seemed to be an appetite for another one.
Right.
Didn't want to encroach on the Washington Pen Show, the largest pen show in the world, by the way.
Yeah.
And we decided on Baltimore, 6 months apart, so there's really no conflict or anything.
Right.
And it's grown every year for the last 18 years.
Terrific. Also, it's people like me who want as many pen shows as there possibly could be.
Yep.
What I'm going to do here is what I did with Philadelphia, is just talk about some of my experiences. This is in no way a overview of the whole show. There are some other people who do that and go from vendor to vendor and show you what everybody is doing. I'm just doing sort of the things that I was interested in, some of the people that I know, and I met some new people. So I have, and some of the people I do know had some interesting things to say. And so I'll just sort of go over that, how it went, how my day went. I didn't even get to the pen show until around 2 o'clock. So it's really 4 hours, which is a lot of time, actually. We're talking about one big room where you have most of the vendors, and then there was a kind of side area. You come in through a side area, and then you go into the really big room, and then there's another room where there were a lot of vendors who are making handmade pens.
Hi, I'm Mark. I'm the owner and proprietor, janitor, and shipping department at Fantastic Pens.
Okay.
So I love all of the different materials. So for example, the material here is actually custom material made. My wife has a separate company between studio.
Oh, okay.
Co-located in our basement. But
okay.
She makes some really nice materials.
Okay.
And so I really love the high contrast that you get for something like that.
I stopped at Darail Penz and spoke to Adolphus Smith about what he was up to.
Yes, we have a new design that's coming out.
Oh.
It'll be ready for the Atlanta Pen Show.
Oh, when's that?
That's April.
Okay.
I think, that's April.
All right.
So we'll be bringing it out then. And we have some wood.
What's that? What's the new design?
The new design, I can't tell you about it.
Oh, it's a secret.
I'm going to show it on that when I show up.
Okay. But you're also working in wood. So what's new? At Karis Pen.
We have a lot of Cerakote colors that
Oh yeah, nice.
really change up the look of the pens because they're not anodized, so they're more of a opaque color and a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
color variations.
So how is that made?
It's a ceramic paint that's painted on and then baked in an oven.
Oh,
so
that's
it's a real
really
durable
beautiful.
surface and gives a lot of different options for colors. All of these, except for these three, are Cerakoted, so you can see the different
Oh,
color
that's
variations.
gorgeous.
And that's just a small selection of what is actually available from that.
The
Let me just.
managing partner, COO, whatever.
Assistant Pelican.
Ah.
Associate Penguin. Yeah. So Danny and I are working together.
Oh,
and
terrific.
Danny's going to take over the day-to-day management.
Oh, good.
Nothing will change except the email address. Same
Ah.
service, same quality.
Oh, good. I had a great time talking to my friend Todd Merrell, and we talked in front of Tom Bailey, who's the pen man and has all these amazing Pelican pens. And then I sat for quite a while with Scott Jones, who's become a friend and is a wonderful artist. He does a different drawing every day, and he's an incredible expert on vintage pens. And he sold me 2 Conklin pens that I think are really quite beautiful. It's Scott again.
Hey, hello everybody.
Scott just sold me 2 beautiful pens from Conklin Pens. Here are 2 of the 2 pens I got from Scott. This is a Conklin Crescent Filler, which is sort of what made Conklin famous. And it's lovely, lovely pen. It's smooth and but has quite a lot of flex. Can go very fine or much thicker, about like a broad. So it kind of goes from a fine to a broad. And I love the idea of having a pen that my friend has restored and used to draw with, and now I can draw with it. And this one is really pretty. It's a little broader, which I like. And it writes like butter. So I'm going to do another video in which I'll talk about these 2 pens and compare it to contemporary Conklin pens. Right at the beginning of the show is the Schon Dsgn table, and I spoke to Scott and actually had a chance to talk to him about their new version of the Monarch nib that has a cursive point, and I tried it out. It's really interesting. When you write with it in reverse, it actually is thick rather than thin. And I also asked him about why titanium.
So the way it feels on the paper is going to be different from anything else. Kind of has a graphite-like sort of feedback to it. Gives us the ability to anodize it, which is a really fun feature of our nibs. So a lot of unique look to them and value that we can add to it in-house. It's really non-reactive, so it's not bothered by different types of inks too much. Don't have to worry about it corroding so much. And just a fun material to work with.
Oh, cool. What do you have like favorite pen here that among the pens that you?
Good question. So what we have with us this weekend, most popular so far this weekend has probably been this finish in the full size right here.
Okay.
This one has been real big for us lately. Really intricate.
Really beautiful.
Colors to it.
And all of these will work with the Monarch nib.
Yep, the
Yeah.
Monarch fits in all of our pens. It's a
Right.
UO number 6 compatible threading.
Very nice.
So it fits in a bunch of other pens out there as well.
And is there plans to do different Monarch nibs beyond the...
Yeah, absolutely.
You guys never think about making a flexible nib, do you?
No, that's probably not something that we're gonna do.
Right.
Others do it really well and like
Right.
really specialize in that. And the way that we make nibs doesn't really speak to flexible nibs so much. So
That's
we're
what I
kinda-
would think, yes.
You know, we're leaving that for others to do.
Makes sense.
But we do have new Monarch related stuff that we're gonna work on really hard after the show, leading into the shows in the fall. Hopefully, maybe DC SF time we'll have something to share.
And people have been very excited by it? Are you supporting this? Experimenting?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the
Cool.
Monarch has like become the most
Flagship.
important thing for us as a pen making company. So it's been
That's terrific to know that there are people out there supporting it. Thank you. Great. Bye. And then, of course, I had to go visit Jonathon Brooks and see what was new at his table. Of course, he is kind of legendary for the wonderful materials that he makes that so many different pen makers use. But I just think it's so exciting that you can talk with him and get a pen that he himself makes, and then he tunes it for you.
So the new stuff is pretty much the Raleigh model,
Okay.
which will have the threads on the back for posting.
Oh.
And I can play around material-wise, contrasting, and different
So that
colors.
actually posts.
Yes. So,
That's different for him.
so it has the same threads on the back,
Oh, nice.
so it'll thread nicely on the back.
And how much is that?
They'll range between 200 and 225.
Oh,
It just
okay.
depends on the material. And then the newest ones are the show special pens that are down at your right-hand side, all the way to the right.
Oh, yes. And what do you
I'll
call
take your
those?
left, my right.
And what do
The
you...
material is called newly minted.
Newly minted.
Yes.
That's
So brand new material.
very... So it's almost like wood. And is there something in particular you are putting in, the material to make it look like that?
It's a metallic paste.
A metallic paste. Interesting. Cool. But that won't even be available. No one will be able to get that unless they go to a show.
In the future, it'll become more available. But as far as here and now, it has a engraving on the very top to signify the show.
Oh, nice. I couldn't resist getting one of these. You can see again, this is the crab. And it says 2025 on there. And this also posts. Many of his pens don't. And it has a Jovo stub nib. I think it's really pretty. And I like having something that reminds me that I was in Baltimore on March 8th. Actually, March 7th, March 8th. I like something that reminds me that I was in Baltimore on March 7th and that I had a wonderful time and that I could share it with you guys.